Oh, and we've got Jason back, I think, on this cool, really cool Google thingy that's happening. I love it.
So, Jason, we were talking earlier, and I did mention it in the back channel, but maybe when this happens again on the teams that are at the conference live, it would be nice to have one person to connect with. Because I know two people tried to connect with you, but now one of them has been more consistent, connecting with me to find out how I can help and do stuff. The other big idea might be that is they have a wiki page on the conference wiki, and putting links to where you can connect. I don't know if that's the best idea, or just doing it through the name might be a really good idea that they just automatically have to do to get us jump started, because I know there's other virtual participants, and I don't think in my specific team, and I don't think those people have participated yet. So maybe just some ideas, feedback.
I was just thinking about the teams and how um, because like the virtual people can always get in contact with the virtual people, and why don't we have virtual teams, even though we're trying to bridge between the teams that are at the conference and not at the conference? Why not have totally virtual teams?
You just stole my thunder. I was going to say the exact same thing. You beat me to it. But yeah, I agree. I was thinking, here it is. We've got four or five of us. Well, probably about 7 or 8 people. We're losing the internet connection, connecting right now. If we had the same topic and kind of same, maybe some structure going into it, it'd be pretty cool to see what we could create and somehow share that with the people at the actual conference whenever that would be. And that would be an interesting, or maybe that's an option. Maybe you can choose to participate with the groups in the actual conference, or if you wanted to have just an actual virtual team, um, and connect that way. So, um, great minds are thinking alike tonight here.
Yeah, or like Mum was saying about how we're going to do a 2 minute presentation. I think that should be incorporated in like all the conferences where we, the virtual people, show how we learnt, what we learnt through the conference. Um, yeah, even though I'm
Yeah, agree. Does anyone know the pros? Even just wondering if anyone knows the process that's involved in actually putting the virtual people on the teams, because I found that if I had known my team perhaps earlier on, I mean that might have made things a little bit smoother. At least for my group, it was a bit frustrating figuring it all out.
Jason, I was thinking the same thing. I happen to know someone who's working on a flat classroom project with me, and she's from Hong Kong, and she went to Japan, and I was really wanting to be on her team. And I didn't ask Julie about it, but I had told Julie that the teacher and I were working on some ideas together. But that would be kind of cool to, if you do know someone who's there, because how many in this room know someone who's probably at the conference, connection through a connection maybe. But that would be cool to even uh, find out that ahead of time so that you can start those conversations.
Yeah, I think that would be a really great idea. Or even if you don't know anybody, just to be able to exchange, your Skype handle, maybe your Twitter handle, your Google, whatever it is that you have. So once they get set up, they can easily connect with you right away. Because I just happened to connect, just happenstance, just right at the same time that one of my group members was on the Ning, and had I missed her by 5 minutes, I'd probably be sitting here oblivious to anything going on. So it just happened to work out just right timing wise. But had we connected ahead of time, or at least had that information there, that would have been really easy to do, or at least would have been easy for them to start sending stuff my way saying, hey, here's what we're doing, here's what we're thinking. When you get time, take a look at it. And maybe that makes it smoother for them, where they just don't forget about it in the process of connecting with people at the actual conference.
That's a great idea. I do like the idea of a virtual team also, though, because I think Violet's and Aaron's idea about that would be kind of cool to do it virtually and see if we can present using Skype or video, create a video that we could send to them or something. Might be kind of a fun way to do it.
So, Aaron, I just was curious, when you connected with your group to contribute to the product, and what did that look like? Were you adding to the wiki or to the Google Doc or something like that? And did they Skype you in real time?
Yeah, they sent me a link to a Google Doc or the Google presentation of their slides that they're thinking about using. And then we connected real quick, exchanged our Skype information, and then we Skyped real quick just right before this, and they kind of just quickly ran through what they kind of plan on saying at this point. So at least I could hear what their idea was, as opposed to them trying to type up and explain everything through the Ning chat or something like that. I could just hear it. They were in a room with about 4 other groups, so it was a little noisy in there, but I was able to get the gist of it. So I went through on the slides, just left some comments and feedback. I don't know if it's going to be helpful or not, because I don't know what conversation they've already had. So at least it was kind of cool to actually see their faces. I didn't get a chance to introduce to all of them. I just knew the one lady who kind of helped me on the Ning. But hopefully we can connect again here at some point.
Great. Yeah. By the time I had gotten the link to their Google presentation, it was about 2:30 in the afternoon. So they had been working for about 6 hours or so, and I mean, there wasn't, like you, they were just about to first input that I could have, or felt that I should have, I guess.
I was thinking the same thing, but it was interesting because I got into their Google presentation and talked to them about why things were in a certain order. They do it together and think it's the perfect way, and I don't think my way is perfect, but it was interesting to see them see my different point of view and rearrange slides based on that. And I was not doing as much editing, but I found a quote that they could use for their topic, and I asked them questions like in the discussion yesterday on the shared document. You guys said this things, but you didn't include it in the presentation. Do you guys want to include that item, or is that something that's not as important? So it was just kind of a fun process to try to do virtually.
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to be part of the brainstorm process, or at least see what they brainstormed. See, I have not seen that piece. I just saw the slides and the idea that they went with. So I'm really curious to kind of see what they discussed. What were all the ideas on the table, and kind of how they got to the point, but where they were today when I was able to connect for about 5 minutes. Because I find that part really intriguing. How do you get all these people together, brainstorm all these ideas based on your experience, and how do you come to one decision? That was the part that I really wanted to be part of that I missed out on. But so hopefully they have that somewhere that they can share with me.
Violet, I don't know if you know, but do they pick the groups in any certain way, even on the conference? Because I was wondering if there are elementary groups versus middle school groups versus high school groups or anything like that, or is it really kind of cross borders?
Um, I'm actually not sure. It depends, I think. I think they just mix it all up. Or I think maybe this time, but I know in Mumbai when we did it in India, the teachers chose their groups. So I don't know if they're doing that for this conference, but I know they've done that when they did the workshops. So,
I see Anne's video, but it looks really choppy. Anne, you might want to turn off your video and see if your mic will work. Maybe that would be better.
Hello, I have got my mic